Na prvom panelu sam rekla dobro jutro, sad bi već trebao biti dan, jeste dobro? Raspoloženi? Ne vidim vas, pa ne vidim izraze lica, nadam se da ste ok, ipak smo na jednom uživo eventu, to nas je sve nekako usrećilo u ovoj pandemiji i vjerujem da svaki panel ili svako predavanje koje krene sa perspektivom pandemije, tako će biti i ovoga puta. Često pričamo kako je event industrija doživjela veliki udarac, ali vjerujemo da je turizam itekako osjetio ove zadnje 2 godine koje su bile izrazito teške. Kako je to promijenilo način na koji gledamo turizam, kako je pandemija promijenila naše navike, je li se vratio turizam u velike gradove koji su prvi osjetili zapravo ustezanje nas svih od putovanja. O tome ćemo čuti u sljedećem izlaganju. S nama je Evelina Hederer, direktorica razvoja za Expedia Grupu i to za sjevernu, srednju i istočnu Europu. Vjerujem da je još samo južna ostala za osvojiti. Molim vas, pozdravite velikim pljeskom i pripremite se za pitanja na kraju. Hvala.
Hello, good morning everyone. I see some people still coming. Thank you so much for introduction. I don't understand what you said, but I believe it was, I heard my name, which was correctly pronounced, so that means it's all good. I will not repeat myself again, you heard the introduction, so I just want to say it's my pleasure to be here. It's my first business trip after 2 years of not traveling, even for working in a company like Expedia, we also had to stop our travels, and I'm really, really happy to be in Croatia as my first business trip. And I also would like to thank Croatian Tourism Board, who is sitting here and taking already pictures. We are partners for the last 3 years. We're working very closely and promoting Croatia around the world. So thank you very much, and it's my pleasure to be with you. All right. So everyone probably knows Expedia or Hotels.com. We are the biggest online tour operator in the world, and I represent Expedia Group Media Solutions, and it's a digital advertising arm of Expedia. We are connecting the travelers that come to our sites to book the trips or to dream about the trips with the advertisers who want to reach this audience. And I have a video here that will introduce us a little bit better than I can do. So there you go.
And our travelers are always looking for their next trip. At Expedia Group Media Solutions, we connect your brand with highly engaged travelers throughout their purchase journey using dynamic digital marketing solutions to inspire, influence, and convert travel shoppers. We have a global network of over 200 leading e-commerce branded sites in more than 75 countries, speaking 35 languages, with hundreds of millions of monthly visitors, all searching for trips, booking flights, places to stay, ways to get around, activities, and more. This results in billions of data points that only we can offer, giving you unparalleled strategic insights to shape campaign strategy with precise targeting and robust reporting. Travel shoppers are at the heart of the experience. From custom campaigns to traditional display, native products to performance marketing solutions. Whether your target audience is big or small, wherever they may be, we have engaging, impactful, and scalable solutions for you. Reach the right shoppers at the right time with the right message to get the right results. Connect your brand with our travelers.
All right, so you heard in the video we have around 200 websites around the world, and we have a lot of people coming to our sites to book the trips, and all of those people that come, they leave a lot of data. And in fact, we have 300 plus petabytes of data. And every time I see petabyte, I always, ooh, what does it mean? So just to give you a little bit of context, 10 million pictures uploaded on Facebook equals 1.5 petabytes. So we have 300 plus. So it's a lot of data, and we use this data for all sorts of things. But one of the things that we use it for is for analysis and understanding about the latest trends. And that's what I'll be sharing with you today, our Q2 trends and what kind of changes we saw in the consumer behavior. So let me start with, I will share with you 4 trends today, and the first one that we were really looking forward to, especially the ones in the travel industry, is the monthly searches along our websites are growing, and between Q1 and Q2 we saw 70% increases of the searches, which is fantastic news because for the last 2 years, we saw a huge decrease and less interest in travel. But the good news is that the travel is coming back. And the fact that I'm here, it's the proof. And if we dig deeper, and just for the context, I'll be using Q2 data. So all of the graphs that you will be seeing today is our latest numbers of Q2. And if we look deeper into our global search trends, the good news is that EMEA region, which is a yellow color here, it's at the top. So EMEA is really coming back on our sites and looking for the trips. And on week, the searches are growing. And if we look at the same graph and really trying to understand why, what is encouraging people to come to our sites and boost their confidence and for searches, we see a huge correlation to vaccines. I was just asked here when I entered to show my proof of vaccine, and the vaccines are really encouraging people to travel again. So all of the announcements that we had since the November when we heard first time that we have a vaccine throughout the spring and summer boosted the confidence, and the people were coming to our sites to book the trips. In fact, we at Expedia also took an initiative to further support the global vaccine initiative, and we just finished a campaign which was called Give the World a Shot, where we, with each trip that was booked on our sites, we donated money to 180 countries, less privileged countries around the world, to supply the vaccines. And I'll show you a little video here. I think the sound should be... The next trend, what we're seeing is the travelers are looking further out. So during pandemic, what we saw is that people were not very confident in booking longer trips, longer away trips. They were booking last minute. And that was mainly driven by the fact that the governments were changing the policies. People were not sure whether they will be able to travel in 3 months. So the booking window was very last minute. Well, now with the confidence, people are looking further out. Still, though, if you see in the graph, yellow line represents the 0 to 21 days of booking window, so it's still ahead of the rest of the opportunities. But if you look at the next one, 22 to 30 days, which is the blue line at the bottom here, it's also growing. So people are looking more and more for a bit more longer opportunities to travel. And also what we're seeing, especially during pandemic, and people stay domestically. I know that Croatians stayed in Croatia, English stayed in England, and there was a lot of domestic travels, and there was a lot of travel within neighboring countries. But we're seeing, with the good news and the vaccines increasing, we're seeing that international trips are coming back. So the yellow line represents here domestic, and the blue line represents international. And you can see that towards the end of June, international was overtaking domestic. And if we come back to the search windows, if you focus on EMEA, which is the second chart here, again, the booking windows 0 to 21 are at the lead But on the international trips and in EMEA, you can see the white color. That's 180 plus days. So really, it's growing. That's what we haven't seen during the pandemic, but now it's coming back. So people are really looking to plan their trips even 3 months ahead. Another trend what we saw during pandemic is that people wanted to go away from the cities. They wanted to go to the nature, they wanted to be by themselves, they didn't want to be in the big masses of other people, and the cities were declining. Rural places were replacing cities. This summer, beach destinations were in a huge demand. I know Croatia had one of the best performance destinations in summer, so congratulations. It's really, really wonderful to hear that. But we're seeing also the cities are coming back. So London, Dubai, they were out of our charts, and now they're back into one of the most booked destinations. And since I'm in Croatia, I thought that a little bit of data around Croatia and what we're seeing would also be interesting for you. So very quickly, a few trends for the past 8 weeks. 80% of the people that come to our sites globally and look for Croatia to book, they book hotel accommodation. So that's really, really a lot. Usually we see 50-50 split between accommodation and flights. Depends on the country, but 80% it's a huge boost in the accommodation business, which is great for Croatia. People stay here for around 7 days, so on average a week. And the most popular destinations are Split and Dubrovnik. I'm sure next year we will see also Rovinj here as well. Most places that people are searching Croatia from are United States. I know, again, Croatia has done a tremendous job to bring Americans into Croatia, so we do see that now reflecting in our platforms. The Germans that I saw myself, quite a few of them are here this weekend. Brits are also searching finally again for Croatia, France and Sweden. And a very quick snapshot on how far in advance they search. So British and Germans are searching most between 0 to 21 days, so again, that short window. But you can see that Brits are actually searching further in advance. So 90 plus days is almost the same as the 0 to 21 days. So again, people are starting to plan ahead, which is good. All right, so this leaves me the end with our own data, so the Q2 data that we're seeing on our platforms. And I'll speak a little bit more about our sentiment research. We work with eMarketeer to understand a bit more about consumers' behaviors and what are the trends that are emerging now and for the future. And so one thing what we're seeing is obviously during pandemic, people moved digitally. Everything was very quickly moved. We started shopping digitally. We visited places digitally. Our life became really digital. And so that's a huge movement that was encouraged by pandemic and will be further encouraged by 2023. We see that more and more countries will further grow digitally. In fact, China will grow by 67% more digitally, and Germany, that is least digital country, will grow additional 43% digitally. Lots of people come to us and say, oh, Expedia, you only have travelers that come to your sites and they already know what they will be booking. It's not really the truth. The truth is that we have all sorts of people that coming to our sites. And during pandemic, we saw that most of the people came to our sites to actually cancel the trips. So that was a huge change from the previous years that we saw and the trends that emerged. But when pandemic is coming towards the end, we saw most of the people that come to our sites, they come to dream. And so it's our job to work with partners like Croatian Tourism Board and other tourism boards to put the destinations in front of them and inspire them to come and visit their destinations. And I want to show you a couple of examples that we worked during pandemic. We worked with the Kenyan Tourism Board on a campaign last year. Kenya was closed for tourism. the world was pretty much shut, in the different places, more shut than the others. But Kenya wanted to stay at the top of people's minds. So when the travel reopens, they wanted to make sure that people go to Kenya. And so we worked on a digital campaign where we worked the influencers, and they talked about the Kenya and the things they experienced whilst they visited Kenya. So I'll quickly show you the video.
Kenya is without a doubt one of the most beautiful and diverse countries we've ever been to.
Getting up for sunrise and being out there with all the animals when they wake up, that's something I will never forget.
SMR is definitely one of the most standout regions on earth that we've been to.
Just the wildlife there is outstanding. Some of the best I've seen anywhere in the world.
I was able to kind of chat to some of the women and get to know a bit about like their everyday life.
Another beautiful country. All right, and the final trend that I would like to share with you is that people are finding new meanings through travel. So although in the past it was enough to take a train or plane and go to a destination and experience the things that the destination is giving to us, now it's no longer enough for travelers. They want to give something back. And so what we're seeing is that sustainability has been already emerging throughout before the pandemic, but it's a huge and very, very hot topic right now. And we're seeing more and more partners working with us on sustainable initiatives. And I'll talk with you about it in a moment. But what we're seeing also is that around 60% of people that are traveling, they're willing to pay more to be part of the sustainable initiatives. So it's really people have additional budgets to spend to make sure that they look after the nature. And it's most popular between younger generations, so Generation Z. I have a son who's a bit younger than Generation Z, but he's 8. And we went to Costa Rica during Easter to do a volunteering trip, and we cleaned the oceans. And I was really amazed how much he was already aware of the things that the world is doing to protect the nature, and how much education the schools are already doing. So it's really between the young generation that are really aware of the impact that we're leaving, especially when we travel, and they really want to participate in something that will protect the nature. So be aware of the fact that it's really, really a huge trend among the young generation. And so we at Expedia, of course, we also look at sustainability as one of the most important pillars for our business. And as we say, sustainability is not something that happens in one night. It's a journey, and it's a long journey. So one of the things that we started to work on Expedia was in 2019. We partnered up with the UNESCO and the Thailand Tourism Authority, where we worked on the pledge to show the sustainable products that 4,000 hotels along Thailand were representing with us. And another great campaign that we're doing right now, it's live on our channels, is our partnership with the Iberostar. And if you know, Iberostar is a family-owned hotel. They have properties around the world. And so they're working with us to show the unique properties they have, but they also representing their new pledge that they're doing, a wave of change. And I'm really sorry, it's not showing very well. but it's an initiative that Iberostar is taking to protect the oceans around the world. So we're educating, when people come to our site, we're educating about the initiative, and Expedia and Iberostar, we are donating 100,000 each to protect the coral reefs as part of this campaign. So it's really, really a big hot topic, and it's our job and our partners' jobs to work together to show all of the initiatives that are being put in place for sustainability. And that brings me to my last slide, and the key takeaways that I presented with you today is that the first key takeaway is that the travel is back. It's really, really good news, because we all love travel. I'm sure everyone in the room loves travel, whether it's business, whether it's leisure, but we are coming on the planes and trains, which is great. The other trend is that people are looking more internationally. So domestic is a big trend for COVID, and it probably will take a while, and it will still, people will stay around, the least confident people, but international is also coming back. And the third one is sustainability. It's a new trend that we're seeing, and I encourage everyone to rethink your sustainable initiatives and yeah, look after the world. That's it from me. Thank you so much for being here with me today, and if you have any questions, I think we have the mic. I can't see anything. I'm blinded.
Možda je sve bilo dovoljno jasno. Ako ima neko pitanje, slobodno se pridružite. Malo teško vas vidimo od ovog svjetla, ali rado ćemo odgovoriti na sva pitanja. Mikrofon kruži među vama, ne vidimo vas dobro. Ako pitanja nema, sve u redu. I think you were just clear and we are happy to hear all the good news that tourism is back. Hvala vam onda što ste bili dio ovog predavanja. Ili je mikrofon došao negdje? Je? Nije? Odlično. Predstavite se i postavite pitanja. Ako treba prevesti, recite, ili možete sami na engleskom.
I can talk in English, it's not a problem. Hello, my name is Fran Pogasic and I am a tourism student, and I want to know your opinion about whether modern technologies like, for example, VR could in the future replace some segments of travel industry because of with the goal of obtaining sustainability and natural environment and stuff like that. And do you think that travel industry will benefit from that or not?
Yeah, so I showed you our Kenya example where it's not VR, we have some VR campaigns as well, but during pandemic it was fine for people to go to the museums online and watch theaters online and travel to different places online, but nothing will replace the actual ability to go and touch the walls of Dubrovnik and be with the humans and experience the cultures. So yes, VR is a big technology, and it will somehow maybe stops a few people to travel, but we think at Expedia that you need to have the combination of VR and also people that will be going to places and explore them physically. If
Thank
that
you very
answers
much.
the question. It's not very clear, the sound, so I think that was the question.
Yeah, it was. Thank you.
Anyone else? And I'm really sorry, I'm really blinded here, so I don't see anything. Yeah. I'll be here if you want. Okay.
Hi, my name is Andrea, and I wanted to ask you, what can you tell us about the technologies that you're using to connect people? For example, the use of QR code to communicate travel routes, restaurant menus, and something like that.
Yeah, so QR codes, that's what you just mentioned. It's the biggest, again, evolution of COVID. We physically don't own the hotels or rooms, and we don't make keys. we encourage our partners to move away from touch, especially again during COVID. We saw safety was a big trend, and people were much more willing to travel to places they don't need to touch and they don't have physical contact with humans and the properties. So we saw that, and we were working with the hotels to assure that they have abilities, for example, to check in without speaking to someone. So these were kind of trends that were emerging because of COVID. Now they are still in place, but we're also seeing that people also want to have physical menus once they go to restaurants. So it's a combination of both. I think the people that want to feel safer, they should be able to use the QR codes, and we should give them those opportunities. But the ones who want to have the menus and the physical touch, they should be able to give that opportunity as well. So we will see that kind of trend in the middle, and we will see how long that will last.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much.